you literally had your birthday on the train.
I did, yes.
It was whose idea? What is your best part of being on this train? And what's the worst part?
And to this day, I still regret it.
Wow.
Because, you know, it's a proven fact that
the United States is very good for business.
Okay.
You can build wealth.
Mm-hmm.
You can. You work a lot, but the reward is there.
50 years ago, you worked on a train.
Mm-hmm.
Would you ever do this again? Well, it's a beautiful morning out here. Somewhere close to Toronto.
Closer.
Yes. And I'm here on the train. You can see, you can see from the view, it's the train is literally moving right now. And I met a friend here on the train. Like being on the train has been a good experience, meeting people from all around the world. Hearing stories, learning from people, also telling your story and all. So it's been an experience for me. And here I met a friend from the United States, Mexico City. But you live in the United States,
Texas, yes.
Dallas, Texas. You know what? I don't have to say too much. I'll let him introduce himself. I know his name, Eduardo.
Yes.
And I'll let him introduce himself. So,
Eduardo Medellin. I'm originally from Mexico City.
Mm-hmm.
Been in the Texas area.
Okay.
For the last 25 years or so.
Okay.
And I like it. So we came here to this adventure.
Okay.
Which it has been, and like you said, meeting a lot of different people from different backgrounds.
Right.
Yep.
Right. So first, I want to know why the train. There is planes flying to from Vancouver to Toronto to almost everywhere you want to go in the world. Why the train?
The train makes you kind of look at nature and kind of enjoy it a little bit more.
Okay.
It's warming here, so you don't have to venture too much into there, especially going across Canada.
Mm-hmm.
We thought that it would be very nice just to look at the scenery and everything else. So that's why the train instead of the plane.
Okay, awesome. Did you expect something on the train that didn't meet to your expectation?
The only thing that I have to say is we stopped quite a bit because of the right-of-way of the freight trains. But other than that, I mean, I wasn't expecting anything else. Maybe a little bit more excitement.
Okay.
But it was
excitement in which way?
I don't know. I guess I was thinking
maybe
that I was going to be excited.
Excited.
Right?
Okay.
So getting off in the stations is hard because it's very cold.
Yes.
So I was hoping to explore Jasper a little bit. Explorers, so we want to go there. But no, I think it's been it kind of moved from excitement to interesting. Very interesting.
Okay.
But it has been a good trip. Yes.
Okay. Awesome. So would you say that it would have been better for us to have like maybe exchange the long stops for long breaks in some of the cities?
Correct. So I would thought that maybe longer stops at the stations and less stops at the right-of-way. And I understand, there's some, you can do another rail, right? But, sometimes it's a lot. So that, we're delayed quite a bit because of that. But other than that, I mean, you figure 4 days, 8 hours after that, it's really not a whole lot.
Right. What is your best part of being on this train? And what's the worst part that you've experienced so far?
Well, for me, the worst part is that you cannot leave, right? You can, your station. You have to make do here. Because like I said, we're explorers, so we like to go out.
Yeah.
But the best part is meeting people. And actually it's been very nice because every time we have a meal, we eat with different people. Like
different people.
Right. So you always have a different conversation. That's the best part.
Best part. Okay. The worst part? What is the most unusual thing that you've noticed whilst maybe viewing the outside? I mean, that's another question, but you want to tell me the worst part and also, the unusual thing that you've noticed so far?
The unusual thing was the cabin.
Oh, the cabin.
Because you're sitting and then they come and do the beds, the bunk beds. So I slept on the top. And I kind of, initially the first night I felt kind of like a submarine, right?
Oh, it was.
Kind of getting into there.
Yeah.
And all that. But that was the more unusual thing.
Okay.
All of a sudden you come back and it's tiny, right?
Like,
You
yeah.
can't move a whole lot. So it kind of felt like in a boat or something like that.
Okay.
The worst part, I don't think there has been anything real bad about it. I mean, the crew is very nice. They
Yeah.
feed you all day long.
Yeah,
They-
you don't have to
they
think about
drink
what to
you
eat.
all day long. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they have some events and all that. So it's been nice. It's just like I said, they set. You do the routine
Routine
for
stuff.
4 days, so that probably has been the worst. The routine. I'm not a routine guy, so.
Yeah. Okay. I heard a lot of people talk about the food. How do you find it?
The food is good. It has a lot of French style, so it's very French style. The food is good. Again, it starts getting into the same, right? But they have changed it quite a bit.
Yeah.
So even dinner, every dinner is different. So it's been a good experience.
Most interesting person on the train. Who would you say it will be? Maybe the service people, or even like the people that are.
There's some a couple of brother and sister from Korea.
Oh, from Korea. Yeah.
So those guys are good. They did the puzzle. So
Yeah, I
they did
saw
a
that.
puzzle, but smaller puzzle.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
was very interesting.
Nice.
You guys have been interesting too.
Yes, sir.
A lot of the other people kind of exchange a lot of ideas, and we're more of the traveler type and all that. But I would say that you guys and the Korean guys and everybody else. Everybody has a story.
I see. Is there any cultural shock or cultural differences that you see from the USA and then Canada?
Yeah, we're very similar.
Very similar.
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, maybe different working habits, but
Well,
it's pretty much
The working
culture
habits.
is
Let's
very-
talk about it. What
Okay.
is the difference?
Well, in America, we work a lot.
Oh.
Yeah, we're very productive in that sense. We're working hard all the time on the computer and all that. And most of the rest of the world is not like that. It's more relaxed. It's more enjoying life and all that. So it's a little bit less hectic. Life is less hectic than in the U.S.
So you said a lot of people work harder in the US,
Oh yeah.
and here it feels they relaxed a little bit.
Here is more relaxed. Yes. And pretty much anywhere we go is more relaxed.
Great.
Really.
What would you say to people who have been wanting to do this trip, or wanting to take an adventure, but they never?
Well, depending on what the adventure is, right?
Okay.
So if the adventure has to be active, this is not the trip. So if you want to kind of take it easy, talk a lot, but just not move a lot.
Yeah.
If you want to go skiing, definitely it's completely different.
Okay.
But if you want to relax for 4 days, this is the way to do it, because you're going to talk a lot, you're going to eat a lot, you're going to drink a lot. So it's a more relaxed adventure.
Adventure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Still an adventure though,
Yes.
especially when we stop without internet.
That was crazy, though.
That you don't know, what
Yeah.
happens if a blizzard comes through. Or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. It was a long hours of not having internet.
Some other times, right?
Yes.
So like, ooh, man, I don't know.
Wow.
Imagine if that was in the dark. Like, ooh.
Can you give us a brief of what you do? Probably my people will be able to pick a few things from you.
Sure.
Some of the principles that you live by,
All right.
and some advice that maybe you give to young people. So
Sure.
first, let's know what you do in the state.
I'm a accountant by education, but I do more consulting. So I like businesses, so I do a lot of business consulting
Okay.
based on accounting and finance and loans and all the other stuff. So money-wise.
Yes.
But I have built my practice, which I have about 6-7 people now.
Okay.
Throughout, I've had that. I've had it for about 20 plus years, 25 years, and I enjoy it a lot. I enjoy talking to people,
Talking to people,
kind of
consulting, stuff,
trying
yeah.
to find a solution for where they're at, right? And so I'm not, like I said, I don't like routine.
Routine,
so
yeah.
I don't like routine. So if you're in trouble, you want to grow, I'm your guy.
You're the person.
Because I love that. I love complex things.
Nice.
Like I said, I've lived in Dallas area for the last 25 years. I like Texas. Texas is very good for business.
Oh.
It's huge.
Yeah.
I miss Mexico a little bit. Now after so many years, not a lot, but Mexico is a great place too. It has everything. The only problem is that you cannot, pursue your career there.
Career, yeah.
So
Okay.
the advice for people is, take advantage of the time, do the best you can, and don't get disappointed. You're gonna fall down many times. I did. So just get up and keep on
Keep
going.
going.
Don't think it too much. And overthinking is one of the main problems that I see with business owners. Overthinking about what is going to happen, taking risk. You're always going to have to take risks. You just want to have a calculated risk.
Calculated risk.
Understanding the risk. And so don't be afraid.
Okay.
I mean, when you're an entrepreneur, that's what you're there to create things.
To create things, be creative,
or be creative, be out of the box. Because if not, then you're going to be just one more. So the United States is very good for business. You can build wealth. You can. You work a lot, but the reward is there.
Yeah.
The reward is there. So we travel quite a bit. We enjoy talking to people. We enjoy just mingling around. Just kind of let's learn things.
Great. Talking about mistakes and getting disappointed and all, if you would go back, let's say 10 years, 20 years back, what would you think you would have changed? Or what do you think you would have done that time?
I would have liked to have technology. Because the technology accelerate things. So I still grew up where there was a lot of manual stuff. So getting to where I'm at, I'm actually mentoring another lady that is doing kind of the same path. And the whole difference is technology now. So I don't think too much about the past. So I fell down many times, yes. I hit, barriers, yes, hurdles, all that stuff. But once you pass it, then there's no reason to look back.
All right. So you said you're into the business world, coaching people, consultants kind of thing, finance kind of thing. If there will be an advice that you give to entrepreneurs concerning, money, and then they're growing, what will it be?
Ask for credit when you don't need it. So if you start a business and you put 100 here, ask a loan for 100, don't use your 100. Even if you don't need it, you have access to it. Because in business, at some point, you're going to have to pull from. And people don't have enough money to fund themselves.
Okay.
So try to get as much as you can, even if you don't use it, even if you have to pay for some, even if you're not using it, do that. Because when you start growing, you don't want to stop. And if you have to stop because you don't have money, then you're done.
Yeah.
So, especially in the U.S., ask for credit when you don't need it. When you need it, it's too late. Then banks say no. So money-wise,
credit, like you mean a kind of a loan or something like that?
Yes. So even if you're using your money, use your money, but ask for a loan. And even if you don't pull from the loan, it's okay, but you have to have it. So it's an expense that is worthwhile having, because the other thing is you have to have peace of mind. To make a risky decision or not, you have to know that you can pull from there.
Right.
If you don't, then you're capped to what your money can do. And it's very hard to get it when you need it.
Right.
So always have it ahead.
Okay.
The other comment is interest rates. Don't worry about interest rates, because the business will make more than the interest rate.
Oh, the interest rate. Yeah, that's exactly what I was trying to ask about.
So if you invest $1 in your business, usually you're gonna double it.
Double. That's right.
So if you get a loan for 5% of that dollar, no problem. Business duplicates and triples the amount that you put in. So don't be afraid that money is going to be to good use.
A lot of people want to travel, to the U.S. You see, that is we call it a land of opportunities. People want to travel, come stay, especially in this Trump administration. A lot of people, going out, like Trump getting a lot of people out because of, probably document and stuff. What would you, or which advice would you have for people wanting to come start life in the United States or like America as a whole?
There's still the opportunity. It's still the best country to do business.
Okay.
Don't be afraid of the rhetoric from the president or anything else. We're, in my opinion, what he's doing is to get back the pendulum to the middle. So it got, in the previous administration, got to one side. So he's trying to bring it to the middle.
Okay.
But still, the U.S. is the land of opportunity. I mean, I can tell you, if you work hard, you're gonna reap the rewards.
The rewards, okay.
Yeah, and then and the other thing is, for professional services, if you do consulting and all that, people recognize the knowledge, so they're willing to pay for it. In other countries,
they don't
see that benefit. So I can tell you that if you're gonna pay me $500 an hour, but I'm gonna solve the problem, that's gonna save you $10,000.
Right.
So people recognize that.
Wow, interesting. I met some new guys here. They're from Detroit. And your name again?
Rochelle.
Rochelle, and then Michaela. Okay. And you guys been on the train. I've seen you guys like around for a while. I never got to know your names, and I'm glad I had to talk to you guys. And you celebrating your birthday. You literally had your birthday on the train.
I did, yes.
It was whose idea?
It was just, kind of spontaneous. It was something different, right? Nobody really goes on a train for 4 days across Canada. And it's a different way to see the country. So,
wow. Nice.
Cool way.
Nice. So how's your experience been so far?
It's been really...
You are very young to be a woman to a woman.
Oh, that's your mother.
yeah.
What you said is very true.
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
Thank
Nice.
you. I appreciate it.
So how's it been on a scale of 100? How did you like it so
I'd
far?
say it's a 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Staff have been amazing, very, very nice.
Right.
The food has been amazing as well, very excellent.
Awesome.
And even just like the room and board, her and I sharing the bunk beds, it's been different. But over the 4 days, we're actually getting along. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you get along at home? Are you guys together?
Bicker, yes.
Oh.
Yes. We bicker, but it's given us a chance to hang out for 4 days when usually we don't, right? She works full time, I work full time.
Full time,
So,
okay.
Yeah, good quality time.
Okay, awesome. What would you say would be the best thing that you've experienced on the train so far?
Probably the sites while in BC.
Oh, the sights.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
The Rockies, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. And you said it's your first time doing this, and you're going to go on another train down south to Detroit.
4 hours, yes.
Oh, 4 hours. That's fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fast.
Yeah.
So, would you ever do this again?
I think I would.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd like to go the other way to Nova Scotia.
Okay. Okay. I mean, we've met so many people, beautiful people, even you guys. The lady was just, giving you a compliment about how young you still look and having a child, So, I mean, we've met so many people, beautiful people. The staff are amazing. Who would you say is the best person that you've seen or you've met on the train? What's your favorite?
I would probably say the bartender. He's gone today, but
that's my
Kevin,
guy actually,
yeah.
Kevin.
Kevin was very personable, very personable.
Okay.
You feel like you're just one of the staff,
Yes.
right?
That's
Like
right.
He's always smiling. Yeah.
Yes.
But you'll
So,
meeting different
Kevin,
people.
if you're watching this video, shout out to you. I know you got my YouTube, you wrote it on a paper. Shout out to you, big up to you, Kevin. Keep spreading the positive energy, Yeah. What else do you have in mind? I want to know what is the most spontaneous thing that have happened on the train, or what's the most, scenic thing that you've seen on the train that you didn't expect, or something like that?
Probably Mount Robson. Yeah.
Being told that we might not see it, right, because of the clouds and stuff, and we got to see it, so.
Yeah.
It
Nice.
was really pretty.
Nice.
Yeah.
What
Maybe
else?
the train would be faster than it is.
actually going slower.
Slower.
You're enjoying the moments, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you like it to be faster, or because I think we've already delayed almost 8 hours?
Yeah, 9 hours.
9 hours
Yeah.
already. Dang.
So
So do you still like it that way?
I think so. I think it's just because we're meeting so many different people.
Different people,
and
yeah.
each dinner,
Mhm.
you're meeting another person, right?
Mhm.
All over the world.
Yeah.
Right,
So
right.
it's like the longer we're on here, I think we're getting more like family, right?
Mm.
Like we're running into the same people, smiling, laughing,
Right,
talking.
right.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you have
Birthday.
Thank you again. Thank you again.
a lot of people celebrating their birthdays on this
It's
train?
the birthday
Yeah.
train, yeah.
So if there is one thing that you would want to change about a train, or you hope for to be changed about a train, what do you think it will be?
Private showers.
Okay.
I think so, yeah.
But
I think the noise.
the noise,
Yeah.
the noise from the outside or
Yeah,
from the
like
showers.
learning after the second day in the drain and stuff, because staying up all night because that's all you hear.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, you mean like when they are refilling, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, okay. I never changed my mind there. I never thought about it though. But I'm mostly up at night. I sleep maybe 4 hours, and I
wow.
sleep. I
Yeah.
wake up, then I have to sleep again because I've not been able to sleep straight on the train. You know.
Yeah.
You guys will be in the maybe sleeper plus or economy plus, or there's the prestige as well, which is almost a 10K USD. Do you think it's worth the price?
I don't think so. I
Okay.
don't, your experience isn't the same either, right? So
Okay.
To be where we were, it was nice because,
Mhm.
it was a little bit kind of comfort, but then we never would have experienced meeting so many different people every day.
Right, right.
Every day's been a different day. No
Mhm.
2 days are the same.
That's right.
I think being in Sleeper Plus, just from our personal experiences, has been worth it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We've gone along, like we played games, like card games, and things we would never have really done.
Done.
So,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
So we just step back and just relaxed and enjoy the ride.
Awesome.
Basically, yeah.
If other maybe mom and the other daughters somewhere in the world are watching, what would be the message that you have for them?
It definitely brings you closer, 100%.
Mm.
Yeah, and just do the trip. Yeah.
You should do the trip, right?
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
It's like, being either the mother or daughter, it's like we're reconnecting kind of like a friend wise, because
Awesome.
we learned what to do and what not to do, and
Mm-hmm.
like I brought our out of relevance and did the wine tasting.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
How was it?
It was good.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so nice.
Alright, cool.
How's been your journey on the train?
It's been amazing, actually. This reminds me so much of my childhood, so I just keep eating it, as you can see.
What's the best part of the train?
What's the best part of the train? Just the views. It's amazing. Mm-hmm.
Say some different food that you didn't take.
Yeah, I have. The food is amazing.
Which food?
I think the beef stir fry that I had yesterday, or 2 days ago, I think.
Who's your favorite person on the train?
Oh, he got off the train.
You got
Kevin.
up.
Kevin, the
Okay.
barman.
And would you do this again if you have the chance?
Yeah, if only they have Wi-Fi on the train.
But I think the train is supposed to let you off your phone and
No, but
Wi-Fi.
sometimes you want to send a couple of emails because you just have like some work stuff,
Okay.
or you just want to talk to family back home, just say hello to them,
Okay.
or maybe in case of an emergency, how do we get in touch with people?
So, what's your name? What do you do here in Canada, and where are you from?
My name is Daniel. I have a travel and tour business here in Canada, and I assist people in booking flights, hotels, applying for visas, all types of visas to any part of the world. Wherever you want to travel, bring your itinerary. If you want to book a hotel, I have great discounts for you guys. Just flight tickets, discounts as well, everything travel related. Just come in my inbox, Kenny's Travel and Tour on Instagram and TikTok as well.
So please introduce yourself and tell us where you're from, city you're from.
My name's Rick Fadabin. I actually live in Connecticut in the United
in
States.
the United States. Okay, yeah.
And I'm traveling with my wife, Curly.
Okay.
And we're on the train because we've never ever done a train trip like this.
Okay.
And we're celebrating 20 years the day we met.
Wow.
So
nice.
we decided to leave all the kids at home and her and I come on this trip
Okay.
to see how we like it
Okay.
and also to have a little vacation.
Oh, nice. So it's been like 2 days so far.
Right?
How do you see it? How has it been?
I mean, I personally really enjoy it.
Okay.
It forces you to relax, and I like just looking out the window and seeing how other people live. So, you know, like it's very enjoying to me to see how other people make their living. It's very different from Connecticut. We're about an hour and a half north of New York City, in a little town called Brookfield, Connecticut.
Brookfield. Okay.
My wife, she's from Brazil.
Oh, Brazil. Yeah.
So she not really a big fan of the cold.
Yeah.
But we're both having a pretty good
time. Yeah.
You know?
Okay, got it. So you say you've never done this long train before,
No.
but have you like done any train in the States?
The only trains we've taken in the States is what they call Metro North,
Metro North.
and it brings people into New York City
Okay.
and back.
Oh, okay.
So it's more of a commuter train.
Okay.
You're only on it for a couple of hours,
Okay.
2 hours.
Okay.
And we've taken some trains in Europe,
Okay.
but you know, around Italy and around Paris, but we've never been on it for more than 3 or 4 hours. This is our first time sleeping on the train.
On a train. Okay.
Yeah, and
Okay.
it's been pretty good.
Awesome. So you've been from Connecticut and coming here to Canada. Is there some differences, some cultural difference that you've seen? Is there the most American thing that you've ever done in your life, or the most Canadian thing since you're here? How would you put it?
I used to work in Canada.
Oh,
I used to go to Quebec province, Montreal,
Quebec, yeah.
Sherbrooke, and I did that for like 12 years. I would go every 3 months. So I've noticed that in the Quebec province, they mostly speak French.
yeah.
And sometimes because I'm from near New York,
Okay.
they're sometimes a little standoffish, but you know, not rude, but
No,
not really. You know, let me help you out. Whereas over here,
In Vancouver.
Saskatchewan, and you know, where we took the train out of
British Columbia.
Well, British Columbia, and then we're
Vancouver,
also,
yeah.
so Vancouver.
Yeah.
Very, very nice. It's different from east to west. It's very different. Or
Different.
west to east.
Okay.
Very different.
Okay.
Very, very, very personal.
Personal.
Yeah. So.
Got it.
it's- You know, and you have to remember, I can't speak for Canadian people, but they seem very relaxed. They're not really in any big hurry
Okay.
to get anywhere.
Okay.
Whereas sometimes down in the States, Connecticut, New York, there's a lot of people rushing around.
Yeah, things move fast.
What's that?
Things move fast.
Yeah, things move fast. There's a lot of people that work very long days. Like where I'm from, there's a lot of people. They go to New York City to work.
To what?
You know.
Okay.
So they'll spend an hour to 2 hours a day getting to the city, and then they'll spend an hour or 2 hours a day getting back from the city.
Okay.
So they'll leave 6 a.m. and they'll come home 7 p.m. at night. You know.
Some long hours.
Yeah.
So, what would be your take on this train so far? And I know we've not gone. We still have like maybe 2 more nights more. What would be your take so far?
I mean, it's very relaxing. It's the staff is really goes out of their way to.
That's right.
It's kind of like a cruise ship,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know. But because there's It's much smaller than a cruise ship. They're you get to know them.
Yes.
It's the same guy
Yes.
in the dome car. Just the same guy at dinner every single night.
That's right.
The same wait staff at dinner every single night. So you get to know their names.
Yeah.
Which is, like that's how you want vacations to be.
That's
you don't
right.
want to be stressed.
Stressed. That's right.
You know?
You want to be relaxed and just take it easy.
Right. Well.
Yeah.
Right. So some vacations. I mean, you travel a lot more than I do. But I've taken vacations where you go on the vacation, and then when you get home, you need to take a vacation.
Vacation again.
From the vacation.
You need to take a vacation from the vacation.
Yeah, because
it's stressful.
Like you're younger, and then you try to cram everything into. All right, we got a week, and we're gonna go to Disneyland, and we're gonna go to Wally World, and we're gonna go to Sea World.
That's
and,
right. That's right.
Then you have to remember that you're still human.
Yeah.
And you can only process so many new adventures in a day. And then you bring your kids along, like I have 3 kids, and they can only take in so much. But the one suggestion I'll make is don't try to do too much, because just because you're going to do more doesn't mean you're going to have more fun. Just take it easy.
Take it easy.
Yeah,
I remember I was the first day we got on the train. I was with my laptop. I was trying to get a few things done, and when you were about to sleep, you were like, you said something like, "Don't work too much."
Right.
Yeah. You said that to me, and I'm like, okay, that's something deep. It wasn't so deep, but I thought about it. I was like, okay.
Well,
this man will have some experience actually telling me, okay, don't work too much, and it was getting late.
I did a lot of things work. Over my life, and I've worked probably too much. I made some big mistakes. One of the biggest mistakes I ever made was I used to work as an engineer for this robotics company. And I used to travel all around the world, and it was great. And I was not married and all this kind of stuff. So they had a vacation policy. And the vacation policy was, hey, if you don't use your vacation, we'll pay you.
Pay to work,
So if you work 52 weeks straight, we'll give you. We only got 1 week's vacation. It's a big mistake in the United States. Big mistake. They only give you about a week's vacation when you start a new job. And over in Europe, as you probably already know, because I remember you said that you lived in China and you lived in a few other places. Europe, 6 weeks. 6 weeks. That's
vacation.
Normal. 6 weeks vacation. And I remember years ago thinking like 6 weeks,
that's a lot of time.
What the frick are you gonna do in 6 weeks?
Yes.
Well, to make a long story short, I went a couple of years and took no vacation. And to this day, I still regret it.
Wow.
Because it's a proven fact that I heard this on National Public Radio. They did this huge study. And I remember after hearing the study, I was so upset because I always thought, hey, I worked that extra 2 weeks and I got that $2,600. And I put that $2,600 in the bank, and now theoretically I'm $2,600 richer, which is really crap, because you lose $2,600
off your.
And you just lose it in a second. Blow the motor in your car, transmission.
That's right. It just goes
mortgage
fast.
payment, hot water heater, whatever. It's very quickly. And they actually did a study, and the study said that people that don't vacation actually do damage to their body because they never slow down.
So I want to know, what is the best thing that you think you've achieved on this train, or what was the best thing about this train?
The thing that I think makes it more memorable and is a good thing that it has, as opposed to cruise ships, is that you have a breakfast, lunch, and a dinner, and you don't have any choice on who you're going to sit with. Because of limited seating. You walk into the dining room and you come in at any time, because they just say, hey, second fittings, first sitting. And so it forces you to sit with people you don't know. And it forces you out of your comfort zone.
Right.
So now you have to be cordial because you're having a meal with them. So then you learn about someone, and because this train is so versatile, because let's be honest, we're on a train going through northern, we're on a train going through Canada in the middle of the winter time.
Yeah.
Like, you don't get your average, hey, let's go to the beach and get a beach ball.
Nah.
You have a very dedicated, this is what I want to do person. So I've met some super interesting people from the two daughters traveling with their father who they haven't seen in 30 years or been together in 30 years, to the daughter and mother going for this girl's birthday. To I met a man today, he's like a political genius. He's got every country figured out, and the energy infrastructure and the whole thing, and just a lot of very, very intelligent people on this train.
Wow.
Very intelligent.
Yeah, I think
I never would have thought it
would be.
Man, these people are, because they're big thinkers.
Yeah.
I met a truck driver, and I don't mean as a truck driver like as a menial job. It's not. Guy knows everything about everything, and he's very well read.
Right.
So I latched onto him right away because I'm like, where do I sit and where do I go, and because he'd been here before.
Yeah.
So that's probably the biggest benefit is
The people
just,
that you meet.
well, because when you're on a cruise or any other kind of vacation, let's be honest, you're with your significant other, you're with your family, you're
I've
traveling.
not been on a cruise before, so I don't have like a lot of experience on
So
a cruise.
you'll see a lot of people talk about, they compare this to a cruise.
Okay.
Because on a cruise you have meals, and it's for the experience. Like here we're looking out at the prairie and the frontier and all this kind of stuff. But on a cruise you're looking at all these cruise ports and what's important in this country or that country or the wherever. So but they don't. If you want to just be with your family or significant other the whole time, and there's a lot of people that do that, unfortunately, which I think they're losing it. Like they'll have meals. Here's something different that only this has, which is a big thing. You cannot have your meal in the room.
Okay. Yeah, you can have your meal in the
all
room,
your meals.
It's at a dining.
Yeah. And so
table,
it forces you out of your comfort zone to sit down with someone for half an hour, learn about their life. It's to me, it's one of the biggest benefits.
Right.
Biggest benefits.
Right. And you make like new friends, maybe connections, or even the stories that you hear.
Because so many different eclectic people are on this train. They're literally from the entire world.
Yeah.
It's not like, hey, Vancouver had a discount sale in the Park and Rec, and half the train is Vancouver. No, it's.
I've rarely seen like Vancouver locals.
Right.
Maybe one or two.
Yeah, one or two. But most of the people are from, they're literally from,
around the world.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So, I know you from the States. The States and Canada has a very good relationship. Now, there's a lot of it's different.
Now but even then, given time, we'll just say our new president will realize that he too has limitations. You can't just do whatever you want to do.
Okay. Are there some stereotypes about USA that you think people don't get it right when they're outside of USA?
Well, listen, so, I'm biased. I'm from the United States. I deal with a lot of people from a lot of different countries because I used to be in the trades, and I used to have people working for me, and they were, a lot of times they were from other parts of the world. So I've learned that, the United States really is, in my opinion, the best opportunity to make something of yourself.
Okay.
And I can give you 1,000 examples, but just look around wherever you are. Like most of these people that run businesses in the United States, they're not from the United States. So, like my wife and I talk about this all the time. As imperfect as the United States is, it's still got rules and laws that protect the businessman or protect your rights. So we run into this a lot more in other countries. You know, you'll see someone that's wronged in some kind of way, whether it's a sexual assault or whether it's just the way their family is. You know, in the United States, you're protected.
Protected,
It's not perfect, of course. I'm sure you hear that all the time. People you interview. It's not perfect, but you can build on it. Like I know that the same street my parents live on now is the same street they lived on 55 years ago. You know, like, and it's never been invaded, and it's never been nothing. You know, so it builds generational wealth because you know that. You know, for the most part, you're going to get a fair shake. It's got a criminal justice system. It's slow. I've been through it a number of times in different court cases, and through my work a number of times. But for the most part, you almost always get a fair shake.
Okay.
You know, so it's a lot of opportunity here. If you can get here and you're not afraid to work, you'll do very, very, very well.
Okay.
Very well.
I see.
You know, so
interesting. So my last question would be, if you would do this train again,
yeah.
which other country would you want
So
to
my
do?
wife and I were talking about going to China on the Orient Express. I used to work in China. Well, I went there a few times for work.
Okay.
And then we went there in Cambodia and Thailand. We went there for doing missionary work.
Okay. Well, guys, it's been a good one with Rick right here. And, you know, I know when we're doing the interview, you didn't see your drinks, but I had to make this a memorable one. So, cheers to you, Rick. Thank you.
Thank you
let's
very
do
much.
the cheers again. In China, you have to, when you toast someone, if I'm hosting you, my glass has to be lower.
Really?
Yeah,
Is
so
that true?
Wajini, that's what they say. So I toast to you, and then
I
cheers
thought in
everybody.
China they did.
No, Japan they did something like this. I forgotten what they say. They say itamaki daki or something. I know the Japanese audience will tell me the
I
right
used to
thing.
work over there. You had to give your business card like this. Hold it with 2 fingers and give it like that.
Okay. Yeah, it's. I think it's quite different now. China, they don't do a lot of bowing, but when it gets to drinks, there's a way they do it.
Well, that was 20 years ago.
Oh yeah, maybe a lot of change. Yeah. So cheers to you again.
Thanks a lot.
And cheers to everybody.
Years ago.
So 50 years ago, you were gonna train.
Even more than 60 years ago.
Wow. Was it this train or another train?
No, it was another Japanese. It was Canadian National Railway and the CPR joined.
Okay.
And they wanted a separate entity, and that was Vita Rail, which was formed by the government essentially. And CP went out of the travel business, and they used CN tracks. So when in the old days there used to be 2 trains that ran from Vancouver to Toronto, CP, CN.
CPCN, okay.
And that became a third entity, which was Vita Rail.
Okay.
So as a student, when I was at university, they used to put trains on in the summertime. That was CPR and CNR, both did.
Okay.
And because they had an overfill, and the students used to be a big part of the crews. So that was my early days on the trains.
Nice. So comparing the trains back then and then now, what are some of the big differences that you see?
Well, I see, in terms of the VIA staff, I see a much more content staff. In the old days, train labor was treated very badly by management. Most sort of understood that, in fact, it might be one of the worst industries, and there were various reasons for that. But very, very long hours without getting proper rest periods, no place to sleep on the train, no showers. sometimes you would work 16, 17, 18 hours a day, 3 days in a row, and you had no place to shower at night. And you sleep on chairs in the dining room if you were a waiter or if you were a kitchen staff.
Wow.
And they had racks essentially in the baggage cars, and they pull the rack down and put a mattress on it,
Okay.
and that was called a crew car.
Crew car.
Yeah.
Interesting. Wow. I didn't ask where you guys are from actually. Are you locals of this place? Oh, you're from Vancouver.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I wanted
nice.
to take
Well, guys, you got it for yourself. Big tech guy. You see what I'm saying?
I do what I can with what I got, you know?
Yes, sir. So, I must say you guys have done an incredible job. The crew that came before you guys, they did amazing. You
Awesome.
guys have been, incredible on the train.
Awesome, thank you.
Feeding us. I don't have to think about food for the past few days,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
I don't have to think about where to sleep.
Yeah, eat, sleep, drink. That's all
Yes,
you gotta worry
sir.
about.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And it's been awesome. And once again, thanks to you guys and your crew. I want to know, how long have you been working on the train?
So, kind of a strange story. I used to work here 15 years ago.
Oh, nice.
And then I left and I lived a couple lives. And then I decided to come back. And so this is my first year back with Via Rail.
When you were working on it before,
Yeah.
how long did you work on it?
I worked for 2 seasons.
2
Yeah.
seasons. Okay.
So new hires until you build up enough seniority.
Okay.
You work seasonal. So
Okay.
March, April till about November.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And then we get laid off.
Awesome. Awesome. So, is there any story you kind of lived other lives and had to come back? Is there something specific about your work that you like so much, or what is unique about
Yeah, so-
working with a team here?
So I used to manage restaurants and resorts. I worked in kitchens. It's been a passion, hospitality, just working with people.
Okay.
Restaurants and resorts are a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
When people get hungry, they get irritable, and they get a little nasty sometimes.
That's right.
On the train here, it's a totally different atmosphere. People are on vacation.
Right.
They're really relaxed. They're just so impressed with what we can provide in the small area that we have.
Right.
Yeah, they're happy. I get to meet people from all over the world.
Right.
We work in such tight spaces with the crew, and everybody lends a hand. Porters or room attendants come and help us reset the rooms. When we have time, we go help them board. It's a real family atmosphere, and it's absolutely fantastic.
Awesome.
There's no job like it in the world.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Is there something unusual that you've noticed on the train, maybe whilst working, or you think maybe the passengers can do better? Is there something very unusual that
the passengers can do better?
Passengers or anything you've noticed unusual about working on the train?
I don't
It could be
really
the
have
worst
anything
thing.
off the top of my head.
Okay.
The worst thing
Yeah.
is when passengers try to flush wipeable flushes and they clog the toilets.
Okay.
And
Is it a tissue?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
which I'm a journeyman plumber. I did 10 years as a plumber.
Okay.
That was one of my lives.
Okay.
And flushable wipes are not flushable.
Okay.
People, listen to me. For the sake of your homes and your plumbers in your
wipes,
local
right?
areas. The wipes.
The wipes.
Yeah,
Oh.
they get caught all the time. Oh no, man, they're brutal. So anyways, people try to flush them here. We try to, tell people.
So the tissues can be flushed, but not the
The
wipe.
paper towel, yeah, sorry, the toilet paper can be
Can
flushed.
flush, but not
Not
the
wipes if you
towel,
bring
the
them.
wipes.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right, guys.
And
I hope you grabbing something actually.
Yeah. It's a teachable moment here, gentlemen.
That's right. That's
So yeah, when you plug one toilet, they all start to plug up, and then we have to shut the toilets down, and
Yeah.
it becomes quite a mess.
Oh yeah. That's why I see some of the toilet are being shut down, and you'll be like, okay, they need to work on it before you use it.
Yeah,
again.
yeah. Either that or they freeze,
I
and
see, I
so we
see.
run into some issues that way.
Awesome. What is the best thing that you've noticed on the train, like all these years? and you love so much about it. You know, you going and coming back. You know, it feels there's something.
It's the people. It's the passengers. It's being able to see this vast and beautiful country. You know, we have so many different landscapes in this one country. You know, you go from the Rockies to the prairies to the Canadian Shield.
Right.
It's mesmerizing, truly. And the passengers, you get them from all over the world. Europe, Australia, China, you know, and you get to hear people's stories, how they lived their lives, how they heard about Via Rail, what they like about the country. And sometimes I've had people offer, you know, their cards. Hey, if I'm ever in France or Germany, hey, you can stay at our place and stuff like that. So it's really neat, and it's an experience that I cherish deeply, and
Awesome.
I really, really enjoy this job, mostly for those reasons.
Incredible, guys. And I must say, I mean, off camera, he's probably the best crew guy on this train right now.
Stop it, man. There's
Telling
much
you the
better.
truth.
There's
Yes,
much better.
yes. On this crew right now, he's the man. You know,
I
before I
appreciate
tell
it.
you what, like the crew before you guys, it's Kevin. I don't know if you know Kevin.
Kevin Boat?
I don't know. He was working in the bar.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
my guy on there.
Yeah. Was he all full of bling, like all the
that's
gold?
right.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a good time.
So yeah, Kevin, and on this crew, it is you. Your name again?
Steph.
Exactly. Yeah, Steph. Yeah. So that'll be it for now. Blessings to everybody watching this. Thanks for the time, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you, Steph.
Don't forget to like and subscribe, boys.
Yes, sir.
And girls.
You know how it goes. You know what I'm saying? He's the best of the crew, right? That's it, guys. All right, see you.